Hi, I want to shoot a quick video on how to use mind mapping. Now what you see here is a piece of desktop software called FreeMind. Now one of the things you can do with FreeMind is that if you have a Google Drive account, you can essentially export by going to File, Export, and you can export this file as either a JPEG, a PNG file, or anything, even a OpenOffice document. You can also just save the file and then open it up in Google Drive. Once you have it stored in Google Drive, you can double click it and then create an account over at MindMeister. And that will allow you to collaborate with other people and have them help you create and expand your mind map. I'll do another video showing you exactly how I do that. I'm currently doing that with a project we're working with. So right now I'm showing you what I'm doing to reinforce my learning of Chapter 7, which is what we're moving on to this week, which is organized planning. The main characteristic that I got out of the chapter so far is that you have learned everything that man creates or acquires begins in the form of desire. That desire is taken on the first lap of its journey from the abstract to the concrete in the workshop of the imagination, where plans for its transition are created and organized. So yesterday, Saturday, we discussed the imagination and how we can use the imagination to help us visualize our goal as being accomplished. Remember, in order for you to achieve a goal, it must be mentally accomplished before it's physically accomplished. That was the main point I got. Now as I go down here, it said crystallize your desire into action. And then Napoleon Hill gets into how to create your plan. And this is where he's now leading us into how to create a mastermind group, because one of the things he says is that no one single individual has enough experience, education, knowledge, and native ability to accumulate a great fortune without the cooperation of other people. And he says you can even create your own plans at first, but make sure they are checked and approved by the members of your mastermind group. So the first step he talks about is to ally ourselves with a group of people, a mastermind. Now what's really cool about any mind mapping software is that you can add images or even simple icons. So since this is an important point, I just added a little asterisk to it. So he says begin to form your mastermind group, and essentially this group that we're in is our mastermind group. Now if I want to edit this, I just double click it and do that. Now I can also edit the long node, which is essentially opens up this box, and then I can go in and do a little bit more fancy stuff like bolding it, and then of course now it's bolded. I can bold the whole line by just clicking B, okay, or leave it alone, and of course make sure you save it. So the other thing he says is, and also I can also change the font type by just clicking on this and changing that, and then if I want to bold it, there you go. And he says before you form your mastermind alliance, decide what advantages and benefits you can offer the individuals you want in your group. This is a basic premise in selling. In order to convince somebody to do what we want, we must first find out what they want and show them how they can get what they want by helping us get what we want. So if you're an employer, you want to show your employees how they can get a beautiful retirement, get a new home by performing on their job and therefore receive their paycheck or bonuses, etc. If you're in sales, you know that in order for you to make a sale, you have to show the customer exactly what is in it for them. So one of the things that we say in sales is that you must always show people what's in it for them. Okay, and then what we can do is bold that and make it real big to remind us that that's what we're really talking about here, is that when we create a group like our group, you're here because of something's in it for you. If this was just for my benefit or somebody else's benefit, you'd leave. But because of the content, because of the information that you're getting, you're here. There's a benefit for you to participate. Going further, he says, arrange to meet with the members of your mastermind at least 2 times per week, more often if possible, until you have jointly perfected the necessary plan or plans to achieve your goal. So I noticed that we had a little glitch there. So what it does is it opens up this little box, and I can go in here and just type in or. And then I can just click OK, and there it is. The next step is, he says, maintain perfect harmony between yourself and every member. If you don't create harmony where everybody gets along, then what's going to happen? You're not going to have a group of individuals that are like-minded and working towards an objective. The objective in our mastermind group, at least for me, was to get everyone to apply the principles and ideas in Think and Grow Rich. So that's been my overriding objective for this group, is not to just have you read the book and say, oh, I read it another time, but to get you to really apply what you've learned. And that means creating a definite major purpose statement and reading it out loud a minimum of 2 times a day, getting you sold on the idea of using the self-confidence formula, and reading that immediately after you have read the definite major purpose statement. And if I can accomplish that, if I can get everybody in this group to identify one primary goal for this year, 2015, or 12 months from now, and get you to repeat that goal at least twice a day out loud, and to read it silently as many times as you can as well, then my objective has been reached. And of course, the benefit to you is that if you do this, if you apply the principles in this book, you will have a goal. You will build a burning desire to accomplish that goal. You will have greater self-confidence, which is essential in accomplishing anything in life. And you will have a group of like-minded individuals that you can call your friends that will help you in creating your plan. And part of the mastermind group is also networking, because you don't know what talents, skills, abilities the other people in this group have. And perhaps, you know, if you're looking to buy a home, you may find somebody in the group who's a real estate investor or a real estate agent and can give you knowledge that you might not get from a regular agent because they don't know you. Then we have the important facts. This is an undertaking of major importance to you. To ensure your success, you must have plans which are faultless. 2, you must have the advantage of experience, education, native ability, imagination of other people. We have to tap into other people's imagination. No one single individual has enough experience, knowledge, education, and native ability to accumulate a great fortune without the cooperation of other people. What are the main points so far? And I've read the book before, but I just didn't want to outline it all here because then I don't need to do my presentation on Saturday. So the main point that I picked up is that if the first plan does not work successfully, replace it with a new plan. If this new plan fails to work, replace it with another. The most important thing that you must have in order to achieve your goal, besides desire, is persistence in creating plans to take the place of those which fail. Remember Thomas Edison. He failed 10,000 times, but yet he kept trying. He just created a new plan over and over again. So this is how you can use a mind map. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you can click on it. Once it's bolded like that, you can add all kinds of little icons. So we'll add a little smile to that one. You can even add images. You just go insert image. I won't do that because you have to really have the right size for the image. You can bold it. You can italicize it. You can click on it and then just create a new node like this one. They're called nodes, and that's where you would just put your ideas. One of the beautiful things is that by using this format of using a mind map, it's very easy to create a plan because you can see everything at once. Now I'm just going to give you a quick glimpse. I think I can. Hold on a second. Well, maybe I'll do that in another video. I'll give you a glimpse of a bigger mind map on how to plan an event. But for now, I just wanted to give you a quick video on how to use your mind map to read this book, to create an event, to create a project, to write an article, to write a book. You know, all you would do is put in here the working title for the book, and then you would create a new node, and you would call that node, you know, chapter 1. And then you would figure out exactly what the title you might want to discuss. If you're doing nonfiction, it works very well because you can break down each chapter ahead of time and just create a mind map based on that. If you're writing nonfiction, then you can just write down the main idea that you want or the storyline that you want to create. So that's the video. Download the mind mapping software. You can use MindMeister online. They give you a free account. They allow you to create 2 maps. If you want to do it on your desktop like I just did, you can create it here, save it, then upload it to Google Drive, and then still open it up in MindMeister as well, and then other people can come in and collaborate and add things to your mind map. So if you have a mastermind group, you can have other people add stuff to your mind map to help you expand on ideas. So as I said in another video, I'll show you how to do that as well. So this is the main thing. Use this tool because you can very quickly understand a chapter, and by the time you're done, you have, you know, here's a, let me just save this. You know, here's my mind map for yesterday's presentation, and you know what I went over. So, you know, mind mapping uses: you can create a project, plan an event, seminar, wedding, birthday party. You can create a structure for a website, write a book, write articles for your website, prepare a speech or presentation like this one, create a to-do list, identify your goals in the 6 areas of life. Let's just change that. You can handle overwhelm. You can just dump everything into a mind map in any way that you want. You don't have to organize it because you can very easily organize it later. And one of the ways we do that is I can just take an item. Like if I wanted to take this, I just grab it right here and I can stretch it out, or I can put it over here. I can do 1,001 things. So if the ideas are all over the place, I can then organize them after I've dumped everything onto this mind map. So it makes a great way to handle overwhelm if you tend to be a little overwhelmed. You can use it for prioritizing your life, business, and project, for creating a sales letter as well, or a sales video. You can basically use paper and pen. You don't need to use software, or you can use software. The 3 that I like is FreeMind, MindMeister, and MindJet. MindJet is a paid-for service, and it's a desktop software. MindMeister is an online mind mapping software. It allows you 2 free mind maps, and then you have to pay. FreeMind is free. It's a desktop software, and you can create as many maps as you want. And of course, using Google Drive, you can upload them to MindMeister. There are some limitations. There's other apps and things that you can use as well. And one of the things I discussed yesterday is who has used mind maps to create successful businesses and product launches. Frank Kern. Frank Kern did a video on how to make money with Tony Robbins. If you go to YouTube and type in Tony Robbins and Frank Kern, you'll see the video. Yannick Silver, who is, you know, he created a mind map on how to do an event, and I'll show you that later. Jeff Walker, John Reese, Russell Bronson, Anthony Robbins, Joe Pollock. There was many, many more. But I just wanted to give you an overall view. So that's the video. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you utilize mind mapping.